Managed to get you in on the right side this time, I noticed. I pressed the buttons in the right order. I'll tell you what, I didn't think you could move that well. I mean, your missus has told me that
I can't.
Yeah. She's told me. She has told me. Thanks for joining us, guys. Welcome to the pre-match discussion of the game at the Stadium Maksimir in Zagreb, Croatia, where we go up against Dinamo Zagreb. Before we get into that, though, guys, do us a favor, drop a like on the stream, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and Duke, what do they got to do?
I think what they need to do is gently caress the bell.
Gently give it a stroke. No more.
Gently caressing that bell would be amazing.
The bell is quite a sensitive object. Doesn't need to be anything more than just a gentle glance.
Yeah, just that and done. That's it.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So, match day 1 of 6 of Europa League Group H. This is our debut in the competition. As far as the group stages are concerned. We've obviously played in the UEFA Cup as it was formerly known. Obviously, it's been rebranded as the Europa League. Your thoughts of what's ahead of us, Duke?
Was the UEFA Cup not the Cup Winners' Cup from...
No. The UEFA Cup was a separate entity. The Cup Winners' Cup and the UEFA Cup were 2 separate cups. And then when they got rid of the Cup Winners' Cup around about 1999, if I remember correctly, and then the teams that would have gone into the Cup Winners' Cup then went into the UEFA Cup as well as...
it's the same bloody competition.
Yes and no.
No, stop it. It's the same bloody competition.
I'm not gonna have this argument.
It's been sanitised, the bell, Tom. We used hand sanitizer and gave it a good clean. From what I gather, from what I understand, I think there's been about 900 people that have possibly touched the bell.
We was on 901 earlier today, but we've lost one. I'm quite annoyed about that.
Getting worse, these conversations on this channel, and I'm not quite sure we should continue. Anyway, back to why we're here. I'm buzzing, mate. I'm buzzing.
Yeah.
Like, seriously. I think I'm maybe. I'm buzzing. I just think this is fantastic. I know we discussed it yesterday with fans that have gone out there and no drinking, etc., because you end up in a gulag. I know that's Russian, but it's all part of the same area. Yeah. But we're about to kick off our Europa League campaign, and for one, I'm absolutely on cloud 9 with it, and I personally think we come away with the victory. I do believe this is probably maybe on paper the hardest game out of the 3. I think
I'd say so.
They're a very good side, and they do have the BFG up front, who we were obviously after, but I think this is the hardest tie away from home. I still think we've got enough. I still think we've got enough to manage it and come away with the 3 points out of this tomorrow. To be honest with you, I think it's absolutely amazing.
I think there's going to be a bit of shuffling around though. I don't think it's going to be our full strength 11.
I'll be very surprised if it was. I've seen your lineup and the 7 people that are watching and those that are going to watch afterwards are probably going to have some interesting comments come back from it.
Yeah. There's one curveball that I've put in there, isn't there? There's one massive curveball.
I think there's probably I'd say 2 curveballs that you've put in. One's a knuckleball. One's a knuckleball. You don't know where that's come from. The other 2 are curveballs, and you know what? It wouldn't surprise me. We've seen Moyes pull off some absolute unbelievable ones, including the gentleman in question.
Yeah. Should I put it up on the screen for the people?
Let's get it up. Get it up. Alongside the bell.
Okay, so I'm. This is like I say. I'm not sure whether this is what Moyes is going to go with, but I think Ariola's going to make his debut. Cresswell at left back. I mean, I've put him as captain. I mean, personally, I think in the absence of Rice and Noble, I think, being he's the longest serving player there, I would give him the honour. But, it may well be Thomas Souček. I don't know. But I would probably go with Cresswell. I'd give Zuma his debut and I'd put him alongside Issa Diop. Listen, Issa Diop, what was he, 23, 24 million when we bought him in? I know he's not quite hit the heights that maybe a player of that sort of, with that sort of price tag maybe should have hit. But I mean, he's still a very, very capable defender. And I think that possibly putting him alongside his fellow countrymen might well be the way to go. I don't know. Only one way we're going to find out. Vladimir Kufal, there's been a lot of talk about would you put Ryan Fredericks there? Well, you can see I've put him in, but I'll explain my reasoning for why I've put him where I have in a little bit. But Vladimir Kufal goes in all day long for me. Declan Rice, I would rest him. I know that's going to be a controversial thing for some. A lot of people would probably look at that and go, wow. But no, I would rest Declan Rice. I would give him a little bit of a break. I would have him on the bench. I wouldn't leave him at home. But Declan Rice would not be starting tomorrow. I'd bring in Alex Král alongside his countryman Thomas Souček. So you've got three members of a Slavia Prague team that played in games, like this, in atmospheres like this. This won't faze them. This won't shock them.
No, not at all.
Then we move a little bit further ahead. Again, Andrei Yarmolenko in his usual position on the right wing. He does exactly what he says on the tin. Cuts in on his left, gets shots away. Nikola Vlasic, who's obviously a product of the rivals of Dinamo Zagreb, Hajduk Split. Obviously, as we discussed yesterday, a lot of the West Ham fans have been asked not to wear his name on the back of the shirt. And yes, there's the curve.
I don't see many having.
Yeah.
I don't see many having his name at the moment.
And there's my curveball on the left wing. Yes, I've put Ryan Fredericks there. Okay, now everyone's going to be looking at that one and going, why? Well, quite simply, he played on the right wing, did he not, against Aston Villa? He did it to some effect. And yes, I know it was in a defensive effort to try and shackle Jack Grealish between him and Vladimir Kufal, which he did. But I think going forwards, he did quite well as well. Now, if you can play a left-footed player on the right-hand side in Yarmolenko, why on earth can't you play a right-footed player on the left-hand side in Ryan Fredericks? Now, I appreciate maybe he's not played it to any great extent before, but, unless you try, you never know. I mean, inverted wingers seem to be all the rage these days. It's not unusual to play players. I mean, old school, you and I, Duke, you had a left winger, they were left-footed. You had a right winger, they were right-footed. But these days, it seems to have switched around. And then the number 9, I would play Michail Antonio because he's going to get a rest on Sunday. If he'd have been available for Sunday, I'd have not played him here. But he's not going to play on Sunday, so I absolutely would put him up front as the number 9. And he's then got a week to put his feet up and recuperate. So, Duke, over to you. Your thoughts?
He's actually got longer, Gacy, because he misses the EFL Cup. He misses it. He's missing against Manchester United. No, he is, because it's just... Yes?
I thought it was only a one-match ban.
I thought it was a 3.
No, 2 yellows.
Okay. All right, fair enough. I don't disagree with your reasonings, Mr. Gates. Good evening, Happy. I don't disagree with your reasonings. What I will say is I don't see Cresswell in there.
Really?
Well, I say I don't. No, it's not that I don't see him in there. I agree with what you've got to a degree, and I agree with your reasonings. I think there might be a shout for Ben Johnson.
Mr. Walsh?
I think Ben Johnson may well end up in his more natural position.
Okay.
On the flip side to that, I also see Fredericks, the possibility of Soufal having a rest. someone mentioned earlier, Mick mentioned earlier about Lanzini having a shout. Well, if he does bring Lanzini in, it will be for Big Tom, and it'll be for Souček, because he can play that role, and we know he can play that role. But then it might be that we lose Fredericks out of their we lose Fredericks' position out of there completely, and we stick another third one in that midfield alongside Krau and Souček, and you stick Lanzini in, and then you have Vlasic and Yarmolenko either side. That being said, Moyes might be very, very aware of the hostile atmosphere that will greet Nikola Vlasic when he got onto that pitch. So it might just see that, as Almighty just said there, Vlasic might stay on the bench. We may well see, Ben Rama or Bowen in that role. And then whichever one of them starts tomorrow will be on the bench, and Vlasic will come in, as Almighty just said there, to take that role. So I can actually see what you've done there, and I probably do agree with it. But I can also see a 4-3-2-1 with
the old
Bowen
Christmas tree.
or the old Christmas tree with Bowen or Ben Rama where Fredericks is, Yarmolenko, Antonio as they are. The Vlasic role going to Lanzini, but dropping deeper in between Krau and Souček. And then, that back four could be as is, or you could see Johnson and Fredericks in those two fullback roles. You know what? We could sit here and play this game all day, Gatesy, and there's only been a few times we've actually managed to get it right. And I think most of the time that's when we've had a fully fit squad to pick from, and it was relatively simple. So, there's multiple permeations, aren't there? And we could sit here until the cows come home picking a squad to play tomorrow, and still get it wrong with 3 or 4 different squads between us. So, again, I would I don't disagree with Andy there.
Yeah, no,
but
there's
on
an
the
argument.
flip side of that, we've got United on Sunday. Before we have United again in the Cup on Wednesday. If I'm honest, I'd rather see the strongest side go out. I'd rather see the strongest side go out against United on Sunday to keep the league full and stay unbeaten.
Yeah, I mean, for me, the Premier League's your bread and butter, isn't it? This is a nice sort of like aperitif, and a nice sort of like a dessert course, if you will. But the main course is always the Premier League. Yeah,
without a doubt.
And don't get me wrong. I mean, we've discussed. I want to win this competition, but if it's a choice between, yes, we did Almighty Blues. We did it yesterday. We actually got up to, as I said earlier, we got up to 9:01, and then someone decided they wanted to bugger off. So
yeah.
But I couldn't stop them. I tried all sorts. I tried to raise their wages. I tried an incentive bonus, but they they had it on their toes. Nothing you can do sometimes. So but there you go. I have tried really hard to try and put together a Dinamo Zagreb team. But you know what? I'll be honest with you, Duke, and people watching. My knowledge of Croatian league football isn't terribly large. I'll be honest. I've had a look on Google. I've had a look.
What about your knowledge?
Steady.
This here is. I know one player,
match,
and that's only because you put his name up earlier.
This is the last match that Dinamo Zagreb played in Europe, which was against a team that is competing right now in the Champions League, a team called Sheriff from Moldova. It was a 0-0 draw second leg, and this is the reason why the champions of Croatia find themselves in the Europa League. Now, the one name there that immediately stood out for me was the goalkeeper, Livakovic, because we was linked with him, wasn't we? Very, very tentatively. I don't think it ever got any... that was the other guy that I was going to come to. The Orsic is another one. I'm actually going to come to him in a minute because I've got a little thing prepared on him. In fact, Almighty Blues has said he's a world beater. Yep, he is. Yes.
Sheriff are still winning 1-0 in their Champions League opener against Shakhtar Donetsk.
Thank you very much, and thank you, Almighty Blues. That's very kind of you to say so. So this was the last. This was the last match that they played in Europe. If you look at the last match that they played, which was a where is it? Here it is. It was a home victory in the league against Šibenik, where they won 2-0. It's a completely different team. I'm wondering, reading between the lines, whether the team that we're going to face tomorrow will be more akin to the team that played in the previous European match rather than the one that played in the previous league match. I mean, your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, listen, as we both said a minute ago before we came live, I couldn't even spin a bottle and come up with a side of I couldn't even throw a load of darts at a dartboard to come out with a team that would fit that. Just it's ridiculous. And again, I would struggle. Orsic is the only one there that I'd know, and again, that was because of the Spurs game last year.
That's harsh,
listen,
Luke. True.
It's not wrong. I only listen to you sometimes, to be fair.
No one listens to me here.
That's true. We don't know. We don't know enough. We don't know enough about this side that are gonna, that are gonna be well beaters. They beat Spurs. Orsic beat Spurs, shall we say, with an absolutely blinding performance. So, he's going to be coming down, our left? No, he's going to be coming down our right.
Yeah, he's predominantly a left winger, but to be fair, I've had a look on Transfer Market, and he does tend to play. He can play on the left. He can play attacking midfield. He's very, very versatile.
Yeah, well, that's a concern because he's quick. He's very technically gifted. Let's not mess around there. So we're just going to have to be careful with him. We are going to have to be careful with him. Listen, they're in Europe. They're in Champions League last year. Champions League last year? No. Europa League, yes, Spurs. So, yeah, I just think, you know what? At the end of the day, let's go there. Let's get a win. Let's, as Andy has just said there, let's have a reshuffle going into Sunday, and let's see what we can pull out the bag. Orsic worries me, but then saying that as we sat down not so long ago, Gatesy, I think it was, with the other boys, and we had the discussion about do any of their players walk into our team, and I think it is only Orsic, isn't it? To be fair,
he's probably the only one of the outfielders.
But then we've gone out and bought Vlasic for 38 million quid, close enough. So, be all and end all. Would he now get into the team over Vlasic? I can't say because I don't. I haven't seen any of Vlasic to warrant making that statement. So give me a couple of weeks and I'll let you know whether I feel that Orsic.
I think they're very similar stylistically. I think that the advantage that Vlasic has over Orsic is that he's about 5 years younger. But other than that, they're very, very similar types of players. I think they're both quite tricky. They're both quite versatile. They can go right, they can go left, they can go through the middle, they can drop deep, they can go in behind, whatever.
Listen, they're going to come out. They're no mugs. They know Europe. And let's be honest, Cyber, not to worry, buddy. Not to worry. We'll rearrange.
You got stood up.
I did, yeah. He'll try and come later. It's good boy. I won't be there, Cyber. I'm in central London on Saturday on. At the end of the day, they're no mugs in Europe. Their league might be simple enough if you can go back to their league form there or their league table there, Gatesy, if you wouldn't mind.
Yeah, sure thing.
Their league, have a look. Osijek, I know.
Remember them?
We We
did.
played them.
Yeah,
They
come up in one of my little nuggets at the end.
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
So again, if you look at that, there's from 8th place down. There's teams that have lost 5 games out of 7. You look above, and the one team above them have lost 5 games in 8. It really does seem to just be those top 4, maybe 5 teams in that league that are any good. I don't know how many other league teams are there in that league, Casey. Is it just the 10?
I think it was about 16. Or 18,
it's a very basic league. It's very basically, you can't judge them on their league position there for me. But what we can judge them on is the fact that they are in Europe. They do tend to qualify for Europe every season. But you can't take that as bread and butter because that looks like a relatively easy league and it seems like someone would qualify quite simply.
Yeah.
I could probably take a team from the pub over there, including yourself, me and George, and I reckon we could still qualify for Europe ourselves in some way, shape, or form. So, and that's again no disrespect to that league, but at the end of the day, they have European experience that we don't. So they know how to play the European game.
They're actually the only Croatian team to have won a European trophy as of right now. They won the 1966-67 Intercities Fairs Cup, which was a precursor of this competition, essentially.
I'm sorry.
They defeated Leeds United.
What?
The Intercities Fairs Cup.
You're making that up.
No. It was essentially a precursor.
It was essentially how we got into Europe a few years ago with fair play.
No. It's not for fair play. It wasn't for fair play. It was like trade fairs. I remember reading.
Sheriff are 2-0 up. Oh,
are they?
I'll tell you what, Happy, you've not seen mine.
I have. Yeah, don't do it, Happy. Don't do it. It will scar you for life. It will scar you for life. So this is the fella, like I say, this is the guy that we've been talking about. So Mislav Orsic. So as you say, he terrorized Tottenham last season, didn't he?
It sounds like he should be a Croatian teacher. Mislav Orsic.
Well, he's got 148 appearances for Dinamo Zagreb in all competitions, 61 goals and 26 assists. If we just concentrate on his record in the Europa League specifically, 22 matches, 9 goals, 3 assists. Not too shabby for a guy that's not actually a proper out-and-out number 9. Like I say, he's predominantly a left winger, but looking on transfer market here, he's played games as a right winger, he's played games as a centre forward, he's played games as a left midfield, right midfield, attacking midfield, second striker, and central midfield. So this is a guy that basically you say to him, "This is where I want you to go, mate," and he'll go, "Yeah, all right, fair enough, not a problem. Drop me in there," and he'll do a job. You look at his stats, and it's pretty tidy.
Oh, he's solid enough, mate. Yeah, he's solid enough, and you know what? This is quite easily where we can come unstuck. Is we can be, probably, mate. We can, we struggle. We don't know what we're coming up against, and I know Moyes will have a game plan that he hopes.
That is correct, Luke. You've got it.
He's
I'm hoping that the Fairs Cup.
Moyes has done his homework. Who's the guy that does the video analysis? We've got him there now. So, hopefully we're kind of better. So let's see where it takes us.
But Red Star with the old Yugoslav team. They're Serbian. They're not Croatian.
Belgrade.
Back in the day, when of course Croatia, Serbia, Macedonia were all part of Yugoslavia, there was a bit of a rivalry between Red Star Belgrade and Dinamo Zagreb, but obviously they play in different leagues now. So, but there you go. So Duke, talk to me. How do you think this game's going to go tomorrow?
I don't see us. Oh, I don't want to put the cat amongst the pigeons and jinx it, but I don't see us having trouble. If I'm honest, I don't. I mean, that what he's just put there. So Sheriff, I did a little bit of reading up on Sheriff earlier. It came up on my phone. The BBC website did a little expose, shall we say, on Sheriff, and they have the most hodgepodge, mixed match, over the top, different nationality of players within their squad, from Trinidad and Tobago to Malawian to they've actually only got 9 Moldovan passport holder players in their 23-man squad for the Europa League, and 2 of those are backup goalkeepers. And if I remember rightly from the article, 2 of them are products of the youth team. So the fact that the other 14, like I say, are Malawi and Trinidad and Tobago, all the rest of that malarkey, they actually have the I can't think of what the word is, but it's the biggest mixed match of international countries
very
within
cosmopolitan.
That squad. But again, this side lost to them. So in retrospect, I really think we should be winning this 3-0, 3-1. My opinion.
Even going into a hostile atmosphere like the Stadium Maximir.
Listen, we played at Millwall. We played at Millwall. Don't worry about that shit.
What are you asking?
We would have
but
won.
A lot of these players
invented hostile atmosphere. You ever go to the bowling ground on a Tuesday night? I'm telling you, we were the ones that invented a hostile atmosphere.
No, that's true. That's true enough. Should we get in the little nuggets?
Do your bits.
I'll do me bits. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. So, Dinamo Zagreb and West Ham United have never faced previously in European competition. Zagreb have faced English opponents on 17 previous occasions in Europe, including qualifiers, and lost 11 of these games, winning 3 and drawing 3, though they beat Tottenham 3-0 in their most recent game against English opposition in last season's Europa League. You remember that, Duke?
Yeah, that don't matter. It was Spurs. I'm not worried about that. We
West Ham
3-0 down to beat Spurs, so yeah.
We've only faced one Croatian opponent before. You mentioned them earlier, winning 6-1 on aggregate against NK Osijek in the UEFA Cup first round in September 1999. I was there for the home leg. I remember that. I think we won 3-0, I think.
In that horrible kit?
No. Palermo was 06-07.
Oh, was that 06? Oh, fair.
Yeah.
Who did we play after them then?
Stoya Bucharest.
Oh, that was it.
Yeah, lost 2-0 on aggregate. Dinamo Zagreb are unbeaten in their last 13 UEFA Europa League Group Stage matches, winning 9 and drawing 4, winning their last 4 in a row and only conceding once in their last 8 such games. Concerning?
They've not played West Ham.
That is true. They've not faced us. We haven't competed in a major UEFA European competition, excluding qualifiers, easy for them to say, since the 2006-2007 UEFA Cup, losing 4-0 on aggregate to Palermo in the first round, and haven't won any of the last 4 such games, all in the UEFA Cup between 1999 and 2006, failing to score in all 4. The last side that they did score against were Croatian opponents NK Osijek, winning 3-1 with goals from Paul Kitson, Neil Ruddock and the late Mark Vivian Foe in 1999. God rest his soul.
God rest his soul.
Yeah.
See, that doesn't make for good reading, but I'd like to think that the squad we have now, Rob, is significantly stronger than any of the squads that played previously. I'd like to think that we've learnt our lesson, for want of a better word.
I'm just going to come back to this one. Clive, yes, I've done an 11 with Russ. I did that 3-4 months ago. Mate,
it was quite poor, I've got to say.
Yeah, no, it was a right bunch of toe rags. So, thanks, Luke.
Marco Burgess was in there, wasn't he?
Huh? Marco Burgess, behave
was
yourself. Behave yourself. I tried finding him in that caravan site, and he wouldn't come out.
Palo Futra.
Behave. Let's move on. Last little nugget. West Ham manager David Moyes hasn't managed in European competition since 2013-14 as Manchester United manager, leading them to the UEFA Champions League quarter-final before losing to Bayern Munich. In the UEFA Europa League, his last match came in February 2010, with Everton losing 3-0 to Sporting Lisbon in the last 32 second leg, going out 4-2 on aggregates. Not so good. Yeah, I know. I only find the nuggets of information. I only find nuggets of information.
No,
this one. Yeah. Behave.
Thank you, Luke. Thank you. You know what?
Out of order.
You could say that he got to the quarterfinal. United got to that quarterfinal. It's let's be honest. His last game, he lost 3-0, but he was 2-1 up. So you take your pick there as to whatever way you want to go with it. At the end of the day, tomorrow doesn't rely on stats and previous fixtures and what came before it. This is a completely different lineup.
Yeah,
these are a completely different set of players for Mr. Moyes. This is the start of something I think very, very special for West Ham fans going forward. I think that this could be a regular thing. Away days in Europe, under the lights, back at the London Stadium in Europe.
Yeah. Fingers crossed. Score prediction. Let's get to it.
Without a doubt.
What's your score prediction? 3-1. We've had a couple of score predictions. We've had Mick's gone 2-1. Cyber's gone 3-2. Andy's gone 3-1. If anyone else wants to get their predictions in, please do. I'm going Dinamo Zagreb 1.
See you later. Oh.
Hold on. West Ham United 2. Boom. I think it'll be tough. I think it'll be tough. I think that we... Oh, hang on. We got Chris coming with a Desmond. Pat's optimistic. Now, I'll tell you what, Pat. If that happens, I'll tell you what, put a $5 on it. See what happens. See what odds you get. Let us know. It could be another 5,001 Leicester to win the Premier League job, I reckon. I reckon Pat's related to Peach. That's what I reckon.
Sorry, Pat. Sorry.
It's not an insult. No, it's not an insult. I love Peach. I mean, Pat, if you don't know who Peach is, I'm sure you do. He's a lovely fella. But he's always predicting that we're going to win 4-0, 5-0, this, that, and the other, and it doesn't matter who we're playing. We could be playing Real Madrid in the Bernabeu with all our star players missing, and he'd still say we're going to win it 5-0, and you're like, okay. So, but I'm going 2-1. I think it's going to be a really hostile atmosphere. But as I say, I think if we play the boys, I think their experience will come into play. Zuma's experience will come into play as well because he's a Champions League winner. Areola's got experience playing for Real Madrid, playing for PSG in these competitions, so I know a lot of people have sort of like made the argument that, we've got people, we haven't got the experience. Well, we have, just not, they might not have got it in a claret and blue shirt, but we have got players that have played in European competitions in hostile atmospheres and come through it with success. So, well, I think we can battle through this. I think we can stand up to the atmosphere. I'm expecting, you know what it's going to be like in Croatia. There's going to be flares going off. There's going to be smoke bombs. There's going to be, chanting, and probably an awful lot of it is not going to be very nice at some of the players. We discussed this yesterday. There's going to be some naughtiness going on. I rather suspect.
Without a doubt.
Fair enough.
Without a doubt.
But I think that the more experienced players, the players that have experienced this sort of hostile sort of atmosphere, will be able to
know.
Yeah, to sort of like to drag the players that maybe don't have the experience through. I mean, like I say, Andrei Yarmolenko has done this many, many times before. Tomas Souček, Vladimir Kufal, Alex Krau, Kurt Zuma, Alphonse Areola. I've put them all in my 11. They've got European experience. I mean, even Aaron Cresswell's played European games. All right, a limited amount, but he has played them. So, it's not like, this is why I haven't put a lineup out there with Ben Johnson, and any other sort of like young players. I mean, I could have put Ben Johnson there, but quite frankly, I just don't really sort of, I can't find a way to put him in. I certainly wouldn't put him in at left back. No chance. For me, I'll say it now, I would never play Ben Johnson at left back because I just think every time I've seen him play there, he seems to get done. And I just think every time I've seen him play there, his confidence is doing that slowly over time. Keep putting a square peg in a round hole, please. Put him on the right. Job done. But I'm going 2-1.
Sounds good to me.
There we go. Anything you want to finish off with, Duke?
No, to be fair, like I say, I'm sorry we're going to have to. Oh, you're there. I was going to say, sorry, we're going to have to cut this one short because obviously I do have to get back to work. I am supposed to be down there right now. So if they're getting battered, guys, I'm on my way back if anyone's watching it. And if we are getting battered and you're watching this, then there's a problem. That's why we're getting battered. But we will be back on Friday. Hopefully, maybe Saturday morning we might have to do something, just because obviously a bit Friday night might be a bit busy for me.
Mm-hmm.
Luke's last comment there, I'm going to just quickly touch on that before I sign off. I pray to God, Luke, that you're right. I can't see it not happening. I think that's the sad part of it. Me and Gacy discussed this last night.
I'll lay money that it will happen, sadly.
There will be chants. There will be imitations of the armpit malarkey. There will possibly even be bananas thrown on the pitch and shit like that. But
sad, isn't it?
When players get the ball, it disgusts me. And again, if you haven't seen the video from last night, I do recommend going back and watching this morning, actually, the West Ham Daily. Me and Gacy did talk about it. And it's never going to change until these teams are banned. European football. It's not going to change until these teams, the countries, are banned from playing European competitions. World competitions. So, it's. I am expecting. Sadly, it's what goes on in these countries at the moment. They have a very free climb up all over that shit. I wouldn't be surprised, the Nazis.
As long as we beat them.
That no respect. Yeah, you know what? And this is it. Let's beat them. Let's see Antonio get a hat trick. Let's see him shove their words down their throat.
Yeah. But as I say, I mean, we discussed it yesterday, and for anyone that didn't watch it, I made the point that all the time you've got a governing body that will give a more value monetary fine to a player sponsoring a betting company on their underpants than is given to either a football club or a national football association for racist chanting and all the other shenanigans that we know goes on in Eastern Europe. We've seen it many, many times. All the time you've got that happening, don't expect it to change anytime soon. They need to be given heavy, heavy fines. They need to be made to play games behind closed doors. They need to be, really hit where it hurts. And they don't.
Yeah.
They'll give them a paltry fine. Oh, we'll fine you 20 grand. What's that? Nothing. Absolute
Grand
fart.
scheme of things, absolutely nothing.
Yeah. Anyway, we're going to end it there, I think, because you need to get back and do your thing. But guys, thanks for joining us. Don't forget, drop a like on the stream, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and
caress my bell.
Caress Duke's bell, and tell your friends about us. That'd be nice. As it says at the top there, please like, subscribe, comment, and share. Please do. Put us on your social media platform, and you might just get someone go, "Oh, who's these pair of muppets waffling away for 40 odd minutes?" And they might subscribe. Multitasking, you know, it comes naturally. You know, that's us. That's a bloke.
You are impressive with it, I have to say.
You think?
Yeah. You're impressive.
You're only saying that so I don't turn around to you and go, "You do it one night, Duke."
Listen, I tried it. I tried it during the live stream that me and Andy did, and my God, there was just no hope, mate. No hope whatsoever. So yeah, I'll leave that with you. That can be your baby. On that note, love you all.
Last little thing, guys, do us a favour, copy and paste this. It's in the description below, YouTube and Facebook. You know the story. Young Isla's struggling with neuroblastoma. She needs the funds. Her family need the funds to save her life. Time really is of the essence. Copy and paste this. Put it onto your social media platform with an explanation that this little girl needs our help. Doesn't matter if it's a West Ham supporter. Really doesn't. Couldn't care less. If you're a decent human being, this will resonate with you. So please put it out there with a little message. We need to try and get the funds ASAP for this little girl and, you know, to save her life. It really is that simple. So we can't muck about. We got to do this like right now, not next week, next month, next year, because who knows what the situation will be then. So please get this done. And if you are able to put some money in the pot yourself, you've got the Just Giving link there. Fill your boots. Don't let me stop you. And in fact, I'd encourage it. Thank you very much for listening. So, just look, hang on, what we got here. So we got this one. Don't you start, Happy. Don't you start. I can ban you. I can show you a red card. I wouldn't, because, you know, I think so much of you. But in a friendly way. I'm a happily married man. Just in case she heard me and she's wondering that something strange is going on. Did she get that 40k, those mugs raised on? I've got no idea about that, Pat. That one's passed me by. I have to be honest. I can't really comment on that. I've got no knowledge of that. You got any idea about that, Duke? No. Okay, right.
I'm hoping what he means is by selling cups of, some sort.
Possibly.
That's what I'm hoping. I'm probably going to go with not. But
I'm going to hit the end credits. But Duke, before I do that, what are we?
Fucking massive.
We are. Come on, you Irons. On to Zagreb. Let's do it.
Come on, you Irons.